Hi there race fans, welcome back to another video with McVagger ASR, Amateur Simulation Racing. We are busy with the game progression and we're going to pop into the event directory as we've been doing, and we're going to carry on where we left off last week. Last week we finished up with the BMWs doing the European front engine rear wheel drive 550. Now today we're going to be doing this one, the European Clubman Cup 600. So I have sorted out the car. You can see at the top there we are going to be driving the 911 GT3 996, and I have kitted it out to a PP level of 599.93. That's as close as I can get it to the recommended 600. So these are the races. We got Brands Hatch, Sardinia, Alsace, the Nürburgring, Suzuka, and Blue Moon Bay Speedway. Right, so we'll start with race number 1. You see some of these we have actually gone through already. We have raced them previously through the progression of the game, but we're going through the event directory, so we'll do all of these today, and hopefully we get some great results out here. So let's hop in and get this race done. Brands Hatch, the Grand Prix circuit. Quite a cool track this, some really difficult turns, but let's get in and see what the weather conditions are for today. Hopefully it's a good one. Yep, it's typical English weather out here at Brands Hatch. Overcast day, although we do have a little bit of blue peeking through the clouds, but looking like a decent day for racing out here. Should be quite warm, so track conditions will be pretty good for road holding. And so the guys are busy doing a couple of sighting laps out there, so we'll let them do that and we'll be back when it's time to race. See you in a second. Here we are at Brands Hatch. Kyle Brennan in position number 12 in the team livery in the Porsche 911 GT3. Down the inside, braking hard there. Orbit trying to squeeze him out, but unfortunately Kyle Brennan able to do it. Well, unfortunately for Orbit, Bray gets overtaken easily around the outside there. They clear, getting a little wild through that turn. Valverde now getting chased down by Kyle, and yep, through the inside, the Porsche handling very, very well. And now Molnar in the other Porsche is about to get overtaken. Kyle's taking a really wide line here, keeping it safe, making sure he is away from all the other traffic, and a great overtake there, seeming to be smooth as silk so far in the race. Baginski's Audi TT up ahead, and under braking, the Porsche really, really good. Getting those tires on the inside on the grass, you can see the dust flicking up. And here we go onto the back of Fonseca in the Alfa and Kafer in the other Porsche 911. Getting a bit of a draft on there, and down the inside, taking it nice and tight so that Kafer doesn't have to go off the track. Nice considerate driving by Kyle there. The car really looking fast and planted, chasing the Z8 now. That's Newdorf down the inside. Kyle easily takes the outside line there. Mariglino now in the M3 is now going to be in Kyle's sights. Kyle's going to he's going to want to take that third position, and he does really easily, right past the BMW M3. Poole driving that beautiful Lamborghini Countach, but the Lamborghini not quite on par with Kyle Brennan's Porsche. Look at that thing, an absolutely beautiful piece of machinery there. But back onto Kyle Brennan. He's through the turn and up on the power, chasing Beauvoir, now the race leader. Have a look from the cockpit cam and see what Kyle gets to see, or the helmet cam I should say. a quicker sector for Kyle Brennan there, 1.8 seconds quicker than the last quickest time through there, and he's got the quickest lap of the race as well at a 1:43.122, chasing Beauvoir now. He knows not to mess with Beauvoir. He's going to be absolutely on it trying to get that AMG, because that car is absolutely lightning on the straights. The Porsche way better through the turns, but the AMG C63 absolutely a monster on the straights. Just look at this, the Porsche flat down on the power and the Mercedes is just pulling away. Kyle's going to have to take it nice and smooth through here. You see the BMW. Oh, Kyle on the sand, on the grass. Beauvoir with the car on the tarmac has got an absolutely massive advantage there. Kyle doing well not to spin the Porsche out. Wow. That's a great racing by Kyle. There's the bonnet cam. Running really close to Beauvoir. Oh, there's the bonnet cam, apologise. And the race is on between these two. We'll sit with Beauvoir because he's in the lead. Brennan through the inside on the grass a little. He's going to have lost power there, lost speed. Beauvoir comes back through. Brennan on the gas trying to catch up, but there are some straights ahead, and that is where Beauvoir is just going to pull away. Look at that massive gap between the two cars as we enter the right-hander, come up to the second right-hander. This is where the Porsche is strongest through these turns. It is the final lap. Beauvoir clearly in the lead, and here comes Kyle Brennan down the inside with the Porsche, nice and clean, gets right through, sliding that back end through the turn, getting as much of a shunt out of the turn as possible. Mercedes catching up, and into the final turn, and wow, the Porsche just pulls out a massive lead. That's a bit better from Kyle Brennan. A quickest lap on the final lap of the race of 1:39.406. But Kyle Brennan takes the win in the Porsche. He's going to be really happy with that. First race of the day under the belt with a gold. So there we go. A first place. A brilliant drive by Kyle Brennan, taking the first. A big battle with Beauvoir in that Mercedes AMG C63, but he eventually gets it a couple of turns before the end of the race. That was a fantastic show by Kyle Brennan. So now we'll move on to race number 2, which is going to be Sardinia Road Track. 25,000 credits for the win here. Last time there was a second place, whenever we did that. I don't know when that was, but Kyle out behind the wheel in this race. So there we go, Sardinia Road Track A. And yep, it looks like the competition that we should be looking out for is the McGann Trophy and the 911 Carrera RS for this specific race. But yes, let's get out to the track and see what race conditions the guys will be racing in for today. Well, it's a beautiful day here at Sardinia. Nice blue skies, hardly a cloud in the sky, which means for great track conditions. Nice warm track, which should get the tires heated up nice and quick, which means good grip and fast racing. So without further ado, let's get into the races. The guys are on the track at the moment, just doing a couple of sighting laps so they can see how to attack these corners and bends. But while they do that, we'll just have a bit of a relax, and we'll get back to you as soon as the racing starts. It's a beautiful day out here at Sardinia. A great big pack of 11 cars in front of Kyle Brennan, so he's got his work cut out for him. Watch Breyer as he shoots down the track with Kyle Brennan moving out on the outside to overtake him. Kyle through the turn. Oh, sliding the Porsche around the first corner. He's got to realise that these sides are cold coming out, and he's going to need to be a little bit more careful with them while they're warming up. Kafer in front in the Porsche 911 in orange, but Kyle right round the outside, nice and easy. Clement in the McGann Trophy gets taken right on the inside there. Kyle Brennan really on the gas early on in the race. I think he knows that this is a track with long straights, so Beauvoir in that Mercedes C63 right up front in position number 1 is going to be getting away really quick if he doesn't have any traffic in front of him, which he doesn't. So Kyle's going to have to weave his way through this field and get through into position number 2 to fight with him and hopefully get the race done. And looking like it, the 911 Porsche is really well set up for this race at the moment, really getting through the back markers here really quickly. So it looks like Kyle might have a shot of taking this, despite the Mercedes having massive advantage in these long straights. But that said, there are quite a lot of turns on this track where the Mercedes will slow down, and that is where the Porsche will make up lots and lots of ground. Inside the car with Kyle Brennan right next to Newdorf in the Z8, Molnar in front in the 911, and he gets through. The others back off through that turn, but Kyle Brennan simply taps off for a second, gets the nose down facing the right way, and foot flat again down that long straight. He is making up lots of ground on Mariglino in the yellow M3, but oh, he's off the track. Kyle taking it a little bit too fast into that first turn. He almost botched it in the first lap as well. Now into lap 2 he's done the same thing, but this time actually went off the track. He's going to be chasing that BMW with all he can, all he's got under the hood, and there's a lot of it under this Porsche bonnet. Oh, I suppose the bonnet is at the back, so isn't that a bonnet or is it a hood, or is it a boot? The engine obviously in the back of the Porsche. Nice looking car this. Seems to be making up some time here. That BMW looking like it is getting a little bit closer. Mariglino is not going to be too happy with that. Let's just switch to the trackside cameras. Mariglino with the Porsche right in his rear view mirror. Kyle Brennan with the quickest lap of the race actually, with a 2:04.786, and he gets past Mariglino, and here he comes down that straight. You can see the Mercedes up ahead. He's made a lot of ground on it, but will he be able to make up all the ground? It's one thing getting onto the back of that car, it's another thing passing it. And I think he's going to find out just how tough of a driver Beauvoir is right now. First of all, he's going to need to catch, then he's going to need to try to get past, and that may not be as easily said as it is done. That said, the Porsche looking decidedly closer to the C63. As we come up to another left-hand turn, another sharp turn. The car looking nice and smooth through the turns there. Car putting down the power gradually and not spinning out that back end. One good thing with the Porsche, it has lots of downforce from that wing. Plus it's got the weight of the engine on those back axles too, so The grip on this car is really, really good. The weight balance of the Mercedes also really good too, with powertrain at the back, or the powered wheels at the back, and the engine up front. The car chasing, we'll jump into the chase cam now. We'll see what he sees. Oh, he's right on the back of the Mercedes. Bravo puts the power down and he moves out ahead. Look at the acceleration. But here's where Kyle has the benefit through the turn. He's got first position. In the mirror you can see the Mercedes. Here he comes. Oh, he hits Kyle, he's hit Kyle wide. Kyle holds it miraculously, and here comes the Kyle with Brennan wiggle as he crosses the line in first position. Bravo almost knocking him off the track there. Might be worth taking a look at that on the replay. You see Kyle through the inside, getting Bravo on the power, and here comes the Mercedes, quicker through the gears. He gets past. Oh, he bumps Kyle, but Brennan manages to keep it, and he's over the line for the win. My word, what a finish between these two drivers. Absolute fight right to the end on that last corner. Kyle Brennan almost getting forced right away off the track there, but managed to miraculously hold it and take the first. Right, so we are currently 50% down, or 50% through the Club and Cup. We've done race 1 and 2. We'll move on to race number 3, which it says we have won before, and this is El Sachi. Also a 25,000 credits reward for this one, so we'll jump in here and see what we're up against. El Sachi Village. There's a picture of the track over there. Right, nice windy looking track. So although Beauvoir is going to be in this one with that AMG C series, or the C63, I think Kyle Brennan might have the bigger advantage here, because there are quite a lot of turns in this track. But let's move out to the track now, and we'll have a look and see what the weather conditions are for this race. Well, thank you for joining us here in Europe for the El Sachi Village race. This is quite a misty looking day out there, so hopefully we'll have a dry track. We do not have wet tires for this vehicle, so this may be a pretty interesting one if it starts to rain, but it does look like it's clear. So maybe some moist conditions out there with that mist, but we're not 100% sure what this day is going to hold for us. But nonetheless, we'll get out on track and start the racing. We'll see you in a second. Welcome to El Sachi. Here we are with Kyle Brennan in the 911, right at the back of the field. This track, I think, is going to play into the hands of the Porsche, despite that AMG C63 being really, really quick before all the way up in position number 1. But this track decidedly looking like it's going to favor the Porsche because of all of these turns. But there are some long straights where the Mercedes will be able to make up some ground, but I don't think it's going to be enough. But let's see how we go here. Kyle Brennan in the 911 Porsche on the charge here into position number 9, just overtaking Poole in the Lamborghini, and now overtaking Molnar in the blue 911, chasing the green Z8 now of Neudorf, and he's going down the inside. Immense grip here, a little bit of a touch on Neudorf as he goes past Neudorf down into, wow, look at Kyle Brennan right through on the inside, overtaking Valverde, Nadal, and the other car too. all the way onto the back of Breyer in the Clio Sport, taking third position from him, and we're not even at the end of lap number 1 yet. Carl Brennan really flying here in the Porsche 911. We jump into the cockpit with him so we can see his view of what's going on in the race. You can hear the engine roaring of this car. It really sounds nice. There's the top two ahead of us. Beauvoir in the Mercedes C63 AMG and Maraglino in the yellow BMW M3. Down the hill, you can see the other two just going through those bends. Down the gears into second gear, tapping off, and then back on the power through the straight. Maraglino right ahead. We'll jump onto the bonnet cam. See just how quick the scenery flies past. These cars are clocking over 200 kilometers per hour all the time through these long straights. The BMW M3 of Maraglino trying to take that inside line, but unfortunately unable to hold the road as well as the Porsche. Carl Brennan takes him on the outside, and now he's chasing the leader, Beauvoir in the C63 AMG. Wow, that AMG is so quick on the straights. Oh, a slide by the Porsche. Beauvoir takes the advantage and puts the pedal down, getting some space. Here we go through the turn. Oh, trying to squeeze all he can out of the Porsche. Beauvoir trying to squeeze him off the track. But unfortunately for Beauvoir, that did not work. Carl Brennan holds the line, gets through. He's in first position now and got the AMG Mercedes chasing hard, but more and more room being made up in between those two cars as Carl Brennan shoots through the bendy section of the track. Coming up to this long straight now, which is where the Mercedes may make up quite a lot of ground, but I don't know whether he's got enough to get in front of the Porsche here through the chicane area. You can hear those tyres really squealing under the pressure. The racing mediums was the choice of the team, and Carl Brennan goes to 2:10.106, 3 seconds quicker than his previous lap. That said, he has been out front for most of this lap, so most of lap 2 I should say. On to lap 3 now. This is the final lap of the race. The Mercedes looking like it's a little loose, trying to catch up on Carl's Porsche 911. Using all the track. There's Brennan. Round the turn, you can hear that growling Mercedes. But that gap just seems to be getting bigger and bigger. Beauvoir not even in the shot anymore, just about. As the McGregor ASR Porsche 911 powers out into the lead here at El Sachi. The weather holding off nicely, dry track. We haven't had any rainy weather at all through the course of the going through the game progression, or very little. That Porsche really stringing out a massive lead. I love the pops and bangs as he gears down. 2 minutes 10, 106. That's what he's going to be planning on beating now. That's the only one he's racing out there at the moment is himself, trying to improve on his own best lap time, which is the 2:10, 106, just made in that last track. Here he comes down the hill, hard on the brakes. Right, then left, and power down out of the turn, down the straight. Will he beat? No, he will not. But the Kyle Brennan wiggle gets executed for the win out here at Alsace. Beauvoir comes in second. Mariglino crosses in third. What a race by Kyle Brennan. Well, not even really a race for that last lap. All the way ahead, miles and miles ahead of Beauvoir in the Mercedes. This Porsche really good on these Swiss G tracks, man. The grip on this thing is absolutely phenomenal. So Kyle Brennan comes in first. Beauvoir 6 seconds behind in that Mercedes AMG C63. That is an incredible win for the McVagger ASR team, and Kyle Brennan behind the wheel. What a great race. Well, with that, let's move on to the next one. Right, so according to this, we are now 50% through the progression of the Club and Cup. But we'll move on to the next race, and this one is going to be an absolute nightmare. Kyle Brennan not really comfortable with the Nürburgring. I'm not sure if it is the full track, but we will see in a second. 125,000 credits for this one. 2 laps. I think this is going to be... Yes, it is. There it is right there. The massive Nürburgring. The best we've done out here is 6th place in the past. 2 laps out here. So this one might end up being very interesting. Let's move out to the track and see what the weather conditions are for this one. Well, here we are in Germany for the Nürburgring, and the weather is looking pretty favorable out there, which is good news for us. It looks like we will not be getting any rain out here today, which will be a massive positive for us, because this track on its own is really difficult to get to grips with because of how many twists and turns there are. Half the time you don't know where you are because some sections of track look just like others. So well, Kyle's got his work cut out for him. They're out there doing a couple of laps just to see if they can get used to the track, and well, we'll see you in a second once the race is about to begin. Here we are for the start of the race at the Nürburgring. Kyle Brennan telling me earlier on he is not looking forward to this race. This track is one of his Achilles heels. He really doesn't do very well out here. Well, he races well, but obviously it is a very tough track to learn, and the curbs are quite unforgiving in this track. So slightly off and you hit that curb, you are going off. That is and you're going into the barrier. That is an absolute guarantee. But Kyle's taking his first overtake of the day over Orbit, the Frenchman. Now he's just past Nadal in the Audi TT. Porsche nice and quick actually, so and there are lots of turns, so he does have the ability to get the win out here today if he can keep everything clean. But he doesn't seem to be too confident about that. This is strange. So look, it is early morning. We have got a little bit of drizzle out there. It looked like we were going to have a sunny day, but it looks like the weather has got other plans for us. The windscreen wipers are on, which means that there is a little bit of rain out there. Oh, Kyle nudging Breyer in the Clio V6. Having a little bit of a hard time getting past the little Clio. because that is a very quick little car, short wheelbase, so it is quite agile. That will be very good out here at the Nürburgring with all of these turns. But Kyle shoots out into 17th, leaving Brea in 18th. Clement, another Frenchman, out in front of us now in the McGann Trophy, the yellow one that's just past your screen. Kyle hopping the curb there, trying to make the most of this track. We have told them to try to stay off those curbs because they have got a bit of a steep angle on them and they tend to flick the car up, especially these cars with the stiffer roll bars and suspensions, which is kind of the norm for these race cars out here on this track. But he's looking pretty smooth so far. He hasn't had any incidents, so honk thumbs, that's how we carry on for the rest of the race. Bit of a back end slide out there going through that turn, keeps the power down, and yep, he's past Clement. Oh, that's what I was telling him about the curbs. Don't get on the curb. You see it hooks up and spins the car around, so got the right front in the wall, but manages to retain 16th position despite that. So hopefully we don't have too many more of those kind of incidents through this race, because that is obviously going to affect the speed of the car and how much time he's making up on the cars in front. So, as we say that, he passes Valverde in the Sirocco, that green Sirocco, and Maraglino is out in front now of Kyle in position number 14. That's strange, because he was actually the person who finished in third for all of the races so far. Oh, there's Kyle on that curb again. Well, not that curb, a different curb this time, but still the same side. That right hand front fender getting a little bit mashed in. And Kyle's in 15th now. Maraglino still in 14th in the yellow M3. So you can see the gold haze as the sun starts coming up through the mist. Kyle chasing that BMW. Oh, the BM really hitting that curb hard, but he retains, he keeps the car on the track, but it does look like it's compromised his speed. Kyle Brennan gets round into 14th position, dropping Maraglino into 15th. 2 laps of this track. This is going to be rather tough. It is a lot of concentrating that needs to get done going through all of these twisties, and there are a lot of them. Race conditions seem to have cleared up. The drizzle has stopped, windscreen wipers are off, and out comes the sun, so that should dry up a lot of the moisture that is now on the track. The damp meter not showing that there is any moisture on the track at the moment, so that is a very good sign. So hopefully that is the way it remains for the rest of the race. But this is Germany, and that can change very quickly. Molnar in the 911 getting overtaken there. I'm not sure if he moved over for Kyle. It looked like he might have left a gap open there for the quicker 911 to come through. So Kyle's in 13th position now. Baginski in front of him in the Audi TT all-wheel drive car. Oh, and he's hit the, oh, there he goes through the curb, lost traction into the barrier on the opposite end of the track. So now he's got matching crunched up bumpers, one on the right and one on the left. Back down into 13th. He keeps 13th though. I was surprised. I thought Molnar might have taken the gap and moved through, but he didn't. So Kyle keeps 13th position, and he's managed to get right up onto the back of Baginski's Audi. Wow! The Audi hitting that curb and bouncing up as Kyle passes. 12th position now for the McVagger ASR team and Kyle Brennan as he chases the orange 911 of Ordonez in front. Although it is also looking like he might be moving over for the other Porsche. I'm not sure if that is the case, because I'm sure these guys want to get as high up in the rankings as possible. But Brennan passes Huang now too, driving the Ferrari Testarossa. 10th position for the McGregor ASR team right now. As we come up to the high-speed long straight, and hopefully he can make up a little bit of time here too. Anderson is the car up ahead in the Maserati, and Kyle Brennan trying to make up some ground. I'm not sure if those mangled bumpers are going to be doing much for the aerodynamics of the car, but he does seem to be clocking up a decent speed, 240 kilometers per hour in 6th gear as he climbs up the hill. With Anderson in front, that Maserati is a nice looking car. Bit of a beast. I think it might be quite a heavy one too, so he might have a slight disadvantage through the turns. But here comes Kyle, coming up to the turning section that is just before the finish, or the start-finish line. Made up a lot of ground on Anderson there. Anderson opting to go for the Maserati this time. He was in the Z8 last time, and these two had a bit of a coming together in their previous race, side by side. Coming down to the first turn, Brennan takes it on the outside. I do think that Maserati is having to slow down more because of the bulk of it and the weight of it. Brennan moves into 9th, chasing Neudorf. He might be difficult to beat. This is his home ground here. Neudorf now in the Z8. Oh my word! The curbs decided to teach Kyle another lesson. Kyle Brennan did get the quickest lap of the race there with an 8:20.185. So he definitely is on the pace, but is he on enough to be able to get through to the front here? I'm not sure if that is going to be the case, especially after those 3 incidents so far that have definitely put him way further back down the order than he could have been if he had been running clean. But nonetheless, the Porsche still looking like it's on the power. Doesn't seem to have any kind of mechanical issues because it's really flying, sounding smooth as well. It really is quick through the bends. Kyle tends to, quickest sector for Kyle Brennan there too. Neudorf in the Z8. Oh my word, the Z8s seem to have something against Kyle Brennan. Kyle right next to him, and got his tail flipped out, and now Anderson is going to try to capitalize on that mistake, or capitalize on Kyle's misfortune. But Neudorf looking like he's pushed Kyle off, and Kyle needs to get his head back on straight because he is now making mistakes left, right and center. Drops all the way down to 12th position. My word, Baginski holding back there, making sure he doesn't get a penalty for overtaking under yellow flag. Although Brennan was the driver that went off, so he wouldn't have got a yellow. He wouldn't have got a penalty for passing the car that is off the track. But nonetheless, Kyle with a lot of work to do now because he's dropped down from he was fighting for position number 8. And now he's all the way back down to 12th. So Ordone is not looking like he wants to give up that position again, but eventually Kyle goes through the turn and back on the power, and now he's got to get past the Ferrari Testarossa of Huang for the second time. He does it down the inside. Huang looking like he might have moved over, unless he just drifted the Ferrari wider. But Kyle took the advantage of the gap that was in the inside and got past into 10th. Let's see if Anderson plays it clean now again in the Maserati. Kyle opting for an outside line, keeping it nice and far away from Anderson. Doesn't want any more incidents. But he is through, and he does seem to be pulling out a slight lead on the Maserati. On the curbs there, it doesn't look like he's learnt his lesson. Touching the curbs at this track is pretty dangerous. Now the Maserati skipping around behind the Porsche. Oh, and you can see how that Maserati is just whomping its way over the curbs. Looks like he might have a little bit more suspension travel in the Maserati than the Porsche does. It's definitely set up for more of a track car, this Porsche of the McGregor ASR team. It doesn't seem to be making up a lot of ground on the car in front. I think probably just trying to compose himself again, and also make sure that the tyres are completely clear of any dirt and muck that they might have picked up when he went off track. You can see he has made a gap of many car lengths in between himself and Anderson in the Maserati. As he rounds the turn. 10.4 seconds off the pace in that sector, and it's Gallo that takes that one a little bit wide into the grass, and he's hit the barriers again. Kyle really battling now with concentration after those accidents and getting seemingly or arguably forced off the track by Newdorf, who is now chasing again. Oh, maybe chasing a little bit too hard, because he's all over the show now. The car taking a lot of punishment. There's Newdorf in the Z8 ahead. I'm sure that is the car that Kyle is going to be aiming at beating now, considering what happened earlier on. But if he carries on driving like he is now, that is definitely not going to happen. Whoa, the Porsche catching some air over that bump. And now he's chasing and getting closer. Bertie driving that Lamborghini Miura. Lovely car that, but I'm not sure how it's going to compete with these cars with the old technology that's in there. Brennan takes both of them, one foul swoop in that turn. The Lamborghini is spinning itself all over the place. I think that Z4 is probably going to come past any minute. And there's Gallo finishing the race with the quickest lap of the race by 7:51.982. Almost a minute faster than Kyle Brennan's previous fastest lap. Brennan in 7th as he turns onto the long straight where we can just open up the Porsche here. Pool in front in the Lamborghini Countach, a red one. But he is quite far ahead. I'm not sure if Kyle Brennan will be able to take 6th from him. He's just way too far ahead. Bergwart now finishes in the C63 AMG. As Kyle comes flying down, the Lamborghini behind him. Wu just crosses in 3rd now. And Ishikawa is crossed now into the turns as well. Kyle Brennan into the twisty section onto the last turn before the start finish straight, trying to chase down Poole in the Lamborghini for 6th place, but he's too far back. But wiggling, doing the Brennan wiggle over the line like he's got some major victory. I think that's probably more a celebration of finishing the race more than anything else. It's, wow, some really tough crashes there. That BMW of Anderson, I'm sure he pushed Kyle off there, spun him out, but yeah, nonetheless, Gallo did a great job of winning that race, racing the Alfa Romeo Giulia GTA. That is a really cool car there too. But wow, coming second in that one, in the C63 AMG. So wait, not bad by Kyle. Definitely not the position that he would have wanted to finish this in, but nonetheless he did finish. Kyle definitely not looking too happy with that position. I think probably more the fact that he got spun off by Anderson. Anyway, so I suppose that's about it for us for today, guys. We've just got the Porsche back in at the workshop. Guys, just going to give it a wipe down. We have done the repairs on it. As you can see, the aero is all fixed up and that front bumper has been replaced with a new one. Yeah, so we're just going to give the car a bit of an oil change, and hopefully next week we'll be able to get out there on the Nürburgring again and get that victory. So Kyle's going to have to do some practice, and hopefully he'll get enough in order to do that. But that's it for us for today, guys. So until we meet again, drive safely, take care, we'll see you on the track.